Graham family. I think it's the first time we've been in church together as a family for, well, since this all started in March this year. I'd just like to say thank you to you all for your support through the last 9 months. As you can tell, it's been a hard time. And we wouldn't have got through it if it wasn't for your support and our faith in God and the support that God brings us. It was his arms that held us up through the hard times, and just like to say that the massive strength that Lexi has shown through this whole 9 months has been incredible as well, and that's kept us going. Because we wouldn't have made it through it without the support of everyone. And I don't want to speak too long because I've just seen what Alana's got to say. So, thank you very much.
And Alana, if you could explain the condition that Alexa will be facing.
So thank you again, as Ian said, to everybody who's been praying for us through this year. We wouldn't be standing together here if it wasn't for our faith. Alexia is standing here today as a testament of our faith, of your faith, of the community that has embraced us to get through the worst time of our life. There have been moments where I've cried out to God and asked why. Why her? Why us? Why? I know I will never get an answer to that question, but what I do know is that God can use the worst experiences in our life for his good. He has never left us, and the times we felt like he wasn't there, he always sent an angel to remind us that he would never leave us or forsake us. At the start of this year, we found out that Alexia had a rare brain tumor. It affected her vision, and she was unable to see but a pinhole at the worst of times. It is an understatement to say that this diagnosis rocked our entire world. And no parent should ever have to see their child fight for their life and stand helplessly on the side. She was rushed in for emergency surgery to try to debulk the tumor. I remember crying out to God for a miracle, and he sent me to Isaiah 53. He said, "I have sent a message. Many will see and hear, but who will believe?" I said, "Yes, God, we will believe in a miracle, and they will remove this tumor." She had her first surgery, and after 6 hours of being in surgery, the surgeon came to us with the devastating news that not only was the tumor wrapped around sensitive parts of her brain, but it was too risky to remove. But it was also a rare tumor that none of the 5 surgeons with many years of experiences had ever seen. It would not respond to chemotherapy or radiotherapy, the standard protocols for cancer. I hit rock bottom, and I got so angry with God that he promised us this miracle, and he didn't give it, but he reminded me that he had a plan, and his plans aren't my plans or his timing. I had to trust in him. After months of intense chemo, her medical team decided to operate again, and she had a second brain surgery. I asked the surgeon what had changed to make it less risky. Had it shrunk? Had it responded to the intense chemo? Was it no longer wrapped around all the sensitive parts of her brain? He said nothing had changed. It was a high-risk surgery, but we had to accept the risks and manage the damage after, because they had no other choice but to go back in and try to remove it. After 5.5 hours of surgery, he briefed us and confirmed that he was confident that they had removed at least 95% of the tumor. A few days later, she met with her ophthalmologist. She had an MRI, and then a few days later, it showed that there was no sign of a tumor. A few days later, she saw her ophthalmologist who had been seeing her at the start of this journey and had seen how bad her eyesight was. He confirmed that she had 20/20 vision, and that he also, not knowing the background and seeing how bad things were to begin with, that he would have never believed that she could see like that again. She has just finished proton beam therapy and has coped well. We've just moved back home, ended back up in the hospital a few days later, but we are together in the same house, living after months and months of being apart. Alexia is a testament of the faith of God's goodness and mercy. I truly believe that God will use her story to change the lives of many others and bring them to know him. She has touched the lives of so many all over the world who have heard of her journey, many who we probably would never meet. When God performs a miracle, he wants all the focus to be on him, and that there will be no doubt that it was him that completed it. God is the same God yesterday, today, and forever, and the miracles he performed 2,000 years ago have not changed. If you are praying for a miracle, I urge you to remain faithful. Surround yourself with community and people who will pull you out of the depths of despair and give you the strength when you have nothing left in you. Testimonies build faith, and if he can do it for us, he can do it for you. We still have a journey ahead, but by the grace of God, we will get through it.